So how are we supposed to know which one's which? Because I'm looking at people that I don't even know.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Santos, do you have an announcement to make on one of your cases?
Yes, good morning, Judge. I'm here on an adoption case on the ad item. The court appointed on A-0049-20-8.
Good morning, Honor. Michael Solano, present on behalf of Petitioner Maria de Los Angeles Orozco.
All right, give me 1 second while I, so it's A004928 in the interest of Jeremiah Jasper Lindo?
Liendo.
Liendo. Okay, Mr. Devino, you're on mute.
I'm sorry, Glenn Devino, on behalf of the petitioner, Maria Becerra Orozco. She is now Orozco, no longer Gonzalez. She's been divorced. I moved to withdraw this morning, Judge, and I've, on my urging, and Mr. Saldana appears to replace me.
Okay. So
But I do need to put some things on record about my motion to withdraw, Judge.
all right, give me 1 second. Let me just, Mr. Michael
Thank you.
Saldana. All right, and your client, his name is, you said Maria?
Maria,
Yeah, go
Maria
for it.
de Los Angeles Becerra Orozco. She was formerly Gonzalez. And
Okay,
she's present on the screen, Judge.
okay. If I can, do you need to have her sworn in, and are you going to be eliciting?
I
some-
would ask her to be sworn, Judge. Yes, please.
All right, if I can have Ms. Orozco please unmute herself.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Can I have you raise your right hand, please?
Yes.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir. I do.
All right, Mr. Devino, you may proceed.
Yes, would you please tell the judge your name?
My name is Maria de Los Angeles Becerra Orozco.
And I have been representing you to this point in the adoption of your great-grandchild. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you are now the only petitioner, we having amended after you divorced your husband. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So you are the only petitioner at this point.
That is correct.
And one of the respondents is Rebecca Fontenot. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And she's the mother of this child.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand, Ms. Orozco, that I am a prosecuting attorney? I'm an assistant criminal district attorney of Hidalgo County.
Yes, sir. I do.
And do you understand that when certain matters arise involving criminal cases, I become conflicted and can no longer represent the civil litigant? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Judge, I will represent to the court that in preparation for final trial that was also set today, it came to my awareness that Ms. Fontenot, the respondent mother, has criminal charges pending in Hidalgo County that did not exist at the time I took on this representation. I checked conflict before I took on this matter. There was no conflict, but now there is, because now Ms. Fontenot has criminal charges pending, and there's a couple other things I need to recite after the court deals with that.
Okay. So, okay, what other issues do you need to discuss? Because I think at this
Well,
point,
I do need to bring to the attention of the court that Ms. Fontenot called me about 3 weeks ago. I was not aware that she had criminal charges, but I was aware of the rules regarding pro se litigants. I did not speak with her substantively at length. Then she called me again, and I realized that I could not speak with her. I advised her many, many times I could not speak. The other thing as to Ms. Fontenot, I do need to apprise the court is that she said she had not received notice. I explained to Ms. Fontenot that the court can only send notice to the address known to the court and that she had not updated. That said, I have now filed a certificate of last known address with her physical address and email. I have also sent a certificate. I emailed all the pleadings to the address that Ms. Fontenot gave me, so she can no longer claim that she is not aware of this proceeding.
all right, and you're making an request to be withdrawn, or you're requesting to withdraw.
Yes, I would ask that the court take notice that Ms. Fontenot, in my certificate of service, I did send her a copy of this notice order setting hearing, the motion to withdraw. I would ask the court to take, and the order setting final hearing, I would ask the court to take note that in that order, it specifically mandates parties must contact the court to get the Zoom ID, meeting ID. I would inquire if anybody has contacted the court, if she or anyone on her behalf contacted the court.
All right, it has come to my attention, speaking with my court coordinator, that the answer is no.
And Judge, I'm not going to represent it as evidence, but I do have on my screen a green card, pleadings per certificate of service. I've sent them to her email address. They were acknowledged not by her, but by someone else. The point I make, Judge, this being of constitutional dimension, I would not want her later to say anything happened without her awareness. She
I
was
understand.
served, but she's later went missing.
I got you. I understand. Court's going to go ahead and allow you to withdraw. Mr. Saldana, have you made an appearance?
Yes, Your Honor. Yesterday, we filed an appearance with the court.
Perfect. Sounds good. All right, Mr. Devino, you are relieved of your responsibilities, and Mr. Saldana will replace you.
And I believe Mr. Saldana has a request to the court regarding timing, but may I be excused?
You're excused.
Thank you.
Judge, excuse me, Judge, before Mr. Devino is excused, I didn't note when he sent Ms. Fortino notice of these matters pending. Was there a date that Mr. Devino mentioned? I didn't get that date.
You know what? We can call him. He just logged off, Santos.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe you can reach out to him if you think it's critical that we put it on the record, or is it critical that we need to put it on the record about that date? I can try to get him back on.
Well, I just want to know if there was sufficient time for the mother whose rights are going to be terminated, if she had sufficient time, Judge, to make contact with the court or hire a lawyer or whatever she was going to do.
Yeah. Let me ask Mr. Saldana, it seemed from Mr. Devino that you might be requesting some additional time.
That's correct, Your Honor. We
Okay.
did just get involved as of yesterday when we filed our formal notice to appearance, and I was going to request that the court, at its very next setting, be able to reset this final hearing.
Okay. And I think
I
that'll
guess
give,
we have time.
that'll take care of the time issue. Santos.
Right. That's what I was about to say, but I didn't want to interrupt.
No problem. Okay. In terms of timelines that going down the road, in terms of giving her proper notice, I think 2 weeks is sufficient time. Santos, do you have any objection or any problem with 2 weeks?
I don't, Judge. I only have one concern in this case, and I want to express it to everyone here. When the report, I guess social study report done by the individual the court appointed, it was prepared and done when both Ms. Maria de los Angeles Becerra and her husband were married. This was, I believe, in 2020 when the report was done. I have met and I have talked several times. Well, I've met once and talked several times, I believe, over the phone with Ms. Becerra. And I don't have any issues in going forward, actually, with the adoption. You know, I believe that she's the great grandmother and she's a person who is sincere and wants to adopt this child. But I'm not sure if it would make a difference to the court or anyone else out there that when this report was done, she was married, and there may be some conclusions made by the person that prepared the report, you know, that everything was fine in the household, and because the reporter did mention, or the writer did mention several times in the report that Ms. Gonzalez, Ms. Maria de los Angeles Becerra's husband was present and they had a good relationship, you know, a great home. I'm not sure if any of that has changed since December 16, 2020. It's not my intentions to delay this. In speaking with the great grandmother, like I said, my opinion is still the same, that she's a fine person, that she's got great employment. She makes sufficient monies to provide for the household, but I'm not sure if any of that has changed and if it would interest the court at all.
Judge,
So
I can address a part of that, which is I sent an email to, I can't remember the woman's name, but I sent an email explaining that Ms. Orozco is now divorced, asking her to update the adoption evaluation on that basis. I was assured by email that she would do so. I don't know whether that's been done. I haven't seen anything, but I did explain to her that the circumstances have changed and that it needed an update, and she said that was going to happen.
Okay, I just spoke with Eddie. We'll reach out to her, Santos, and we'll
Okay.
make sure that she does supplement her evaluation with, you know, that little caveat. And if she needs to meet with Ms. Becerra Orozco again, we can definitely, you know, well, I'll encourage her to do that.
Okay,
Um,
that's my
now
only
that-
concern. 2 weeks, fine with me, Judge. I just wanted to throw that out for everyone involved in this case.
Sure.
Your Honor, one thing, if we can get a definitive date for them to do that by, just so there's no further delay of the 14 days.
Yeah, the problem is going to be in trying to identify her schedule and what her schedule may be to be able to supplement. Mr. Devino, before you logged off, Santos had asked a question about when was the last time you gave Ms. Fontenot notice, or what note, you know, how long has it been?
Let
Just
me,
for the-
let me, I can tell you, Judge, the packet of failings was received by her on, it looks like January 29th. Additionally, I sent her a certificate of reported last known address. That's been on file since January 28th. That provides her, not her phone number, but her email and her physical address. I filed a order setting expedited hearing, sets forth that she is to contact the court. That hasn't happened. Bear with me. And supplemental certificate of service on the motion to withdraw that I sent to her on February 7th by email. So
Let me- yeah,
late January, when I started,
Sure.
when I realized Ms. Fontenot still was in the loop, I started sending her everything.
Let me do this. Let me go ahead and give you a date of March the 2nd. That gives us 30 days, and it gives the evaluator some time to supplement if she cares to or feels that it's necessary. And we'll do a final hearing on March the 2nd at 9:30.
Your Honor, really quick, we currently have I have depositions scheduled for that day. Could we do,
We could do, let me see.
could we do, give me 1 second. I'm just looking at my calendar. I'm not sure if it'd be available to the court, but I'm just looking.
I can do February the 28th.
February 28th.
That's a Monday.
That would work. That would work.
Okay.
And Judge, there is something else I need to point out, and that is that I've sent her all the packet of pleadings, and as to the adoption evaluation, that's going to have to be updated because there is no longer the husband in the picture. They have divorced, so that's going to need to be updated. But I would ask the court to take note that on January 28th, I filed a supplemental certificate of service listing all the pleadings. Basically, I printed everything off the docket sheet and sent it to her. So that's been taken care of.
Okay, that gives her a month from the date that you sent that off, and I think that's sufficient time. If for whatever reason the evaluator needs additional time to supplement, we can address that and cross that bridge on February the 28th.
In fact,
Right.
what I can do, if the court will give me 1 second. I'm trying, yes, here it is. Judge, on January 27th, I sent her this email on January 26th. Ms. Juarez, please see the attached degree of divorce amended petition and motion to withdraw. Maria de Los Angeles Becerra Orozco, formerly of Gonzalez, is now divorced from David Lee Gonzalez. Accordingly, I have filed an amended petition reflecting that Ms. Orozco is now the sole petitioner. In hearing this morning, the judge orally granted my motion to withdraw as attorney for David Lee Gonzalez. Kindly file a supplementary report reflecting the current situation. The response I got on January 27th at 9:02 a.m. was, thank you for the update. I will reach out to her to schedule an interview to update the report. So that's been taken care of.
Okay, if you don't mind, Mr. Devino, exchange that information with Mr. Saldana so that he can make contact with her since he's the point guard now.
I'll forward it right now.
Perfect.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we'll see you on February the 28th at 9:30.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
May I
Your
be
Honor.
excused?
May I be excused?
All are excused. Thank you, Santos. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Saldana. Thank you, Mr. Devino.
Thank you, Judge.
And Miss, yes, ma'am, Ms. Orozco, you're excused as well. All right. Let me see. Mr. Gomez, what do you have? You're on mute.
pardon me. I have, good morning, Your Honor. I've got F 4429-18-8 in the interest of Eileen Lynette Arriaga Bernal. I represent Juana Bernal Nevares.
Polo
Juana,
Gutierrez for the Office of the Attorney General on that case as well.
okay, I'm sorry, can you repeat the name of your client, Mr. Gomez? Juana Bernal
Formerly Bernal, now Nevares, Juana Nevares.
Nevares. All right, Juana Nevares. And what do we have here today, Mr. Gutierrez and Mr. Gomez?
Your Honor, we're here on a petition to establish the parent-child relationship. The court issued a temporary order back in March 12 of 2020. This case was originally in the master court. Mr. Gomez filed a new trial. The court granted it. So we're here to finalize the temporary orders. I do see the father is online as well.
The father is Isidro?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
And according to the temporary order, all issues were determined in the temporary order. The only thing pending was retro back pay. I'm not sure if that's still the case with the parties. Your Honor.
All right. Carlos, will you ask Mr. Isidro Arriaga to unmute himself? I need to ask if he's represented by counsel.
Señor Arriaga, si puede encender su micrófono, por favor.
Okay, Dad.
Okay,
All right, Mr. Arriaga, good morning.
Good morning, buenos días.
good morning.
Mr. Arriaga, are you represented by an attorney? Do you have an attorney representing you?
Señor Arriaga, ¿usted tiene un abogado que lo está representando?
No,
No.
All right, and are you prepared to go forward here today?
¿Está preparado para proceder aquí hoy?
sí,
Yes.
Okay, and Mr. Gutierrez, so we're basically needing to address arrearages.
Correct, Your Honor. Since the obligation started in the temporary order on March 31st, 2020, we typically order retro support. 4 years prior to the date of filing, we filed this case in August 3rd of 2018. I would just need to ask, I guess, Mr. Arriaga some questions as to credits, if you'd be entitled to them. And I don't know if the custodial parent is present.
Mr. Gomez, is your client, Ms. Nedvice, or Navares, I'm sorry, present?
Sí, juez, aquí estoy.
Okay,
Get him here.
okay, perfect. All right, can I have Ms. Nevares and Mr. Arriaga, please raise your right hand.
Ms. Nevares y señor Arriaga, si pueden levantar su mano derecha, por favor.
Do each of you sort of tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I'll start with Ms. Nevares.
Jura que testimonio que no esta mañana será la verdad y solamente la verdad. Empezando con usted, señor Nevares.
Sí.
Yes.
And Mr. Arriaga.
Señor Arriaga. Yes.
Okay, Mr. Gutierrez, I'll allow you to ask Mr. Arriaga any questions.
Mr. Arriaga, did you and Ms. Bernal separate prior to the August 3rd of 2014?
Señor Arriaga, usted y la señora Bernal se separaron antes de la fecha del 3 de agosto de 2014.
no,
No.
When did you and Ms. Bernal separate?
¿Cuándo se separaron?
cuando nació la niña chiquita, Maya Milagros, en mayo.
When the little girl was born, Maya Milagros, in May.
Maya Milagros was born June 11th of 2015. After she was born, did you and Ms. Bernal live together?
Maya Milagros nació el 11 de junio 2015. ¿Usted y la señora Bernal vivían juntos?
Sí, ella se quedaba días conmigo.
Yes, there was days she would stay with me.
Where
No,
would you two live?
no,
Permítame,
yo vivía en la casa de mi papá, pero él no tenía dónde ir.
ma'am,
Él vivía allí.
Ms. Bernal, permita que hagan las preguntas y ahorita le hacen preguntas a usted, ma'am.
Ok.
Where was it that you and Ms. Bernal lived together?
¿Cuándo fue que usted y la señora Bernal vivían juntos?
Hasta cuando nació la niña, que tenía casi como 2 meses, porque nos separamos, teníamos problemas, pero todavía convivíamos, pero nos separamos porque yo descubrí que la niña tenía otro apellido y supuestamente era mía.
It was
Entonces,
after, permítame, it was after the little girl was born, up to about 2 months. We separated, we had problems, we separated, but then we would sometimes live together. Then I found out that she had another last name, but supposedly she was mine.
Where was it that you and Ms. Bernal lived together?
¿Dónde era que usted y la señora Bernal vivían juntos?
en la 1314 Tewell, West Road, Houston, Texas, 770. No me acuerdo el código.
¿Qué era la, qué era la calle?
Tidwell. Tidwell.
Tidwell?
Yeah.
It was in 1314 Tidwell in Houston, Texas. I don't remember the zip code.
Was that an apartment you two shared with the children?
¿Era un apartamento que ustedes compartían con los niños?
Era una traila.
It was a mobile home.
But Ms. Bernal and the children lived there with you.
¿Y la señora Bernal y los niños vivían con usted ahí?
Sí.
Yes.
Since that time, have the children gone to live with you for any extended period of time?
Desde entonces, los niños han ido a vivir con usted por un periodo extendido.
Pues la niña, la grande Aileen vivió casi hasta cuando nos separamos, que tenía casi 7 años cuando nació la niña chiquita.
The oldest, Eileen, she stayed with us up until she was like 7 years old when the little girl was born, the small one.
But since your youngest daughter was born, the children haven't stayed with you apart from Ms. Bernal for any extended period of time?
Pero ya después de que nació la niña chiquita, los niños, Ms. Bernal, se han ido a quedar con usted por un periodo extendido.
No, se la llevó ella.
No, she took them.
Have you given Ms. Bernal directly any money outside of the child support?
¿Usted le ha dado a la señora Bernal dinero directamente, aparte de la manutención?
Tengo una pregunta.
I have a question.
La corte la empecé yo aquí en Houston y ya la movió para allá. So, la niña chiquita, hay una orden que la niña chiquita es mi hija y ya hicimos un acuerdo y le estaban mandando dinero lo que me dio la corte allá con ustedes, porque yo agarré abogado hace como 3 años.
Permítame, sir. The court I started up here in Houston, so there was orders for the little one, who is mine. There was already an order in place, and then she moved it over there. And I had gotten an attorney about 3 years ago. Proceda.
Entonces agarré un abogado y él me ayudó a arreglarme con ella. So, estaba pagando lo que me dijeron ellos, pero como me enfermé y me pasaron cosas, no he podido mandarle dinero. So, quiero saber qué está peleando ella ahorita, porque yo no puedo agarrar abogado, no puedo defender, no puedo hacer nada, no los puedo ver.
Permítame. So I had got an attorney, and he helped me come to an agreement, and I had been paying her. Then I got sick, and then I could not make any more payments. And I'm just wanting to know, what is it that she's fighting?
Your Honor, my question was, from the date of separation, 2 months after the youngest daughter was born, did he pay her any money directly? Just any cash that he's claiming he should be giving credit for?
Okay, mi pregunta era, 2 meses después de que nació la niña, ¿usted directamente le dio dinero a Ms. Bernal?
Sí.
Para ver si es que hay algo que se le puede dar de créditos.
Ok. Cuando se movió para allá, un juez me puso $25,000, casi $20,000 que yo le debía a ella. Entonces yo agarré un abogado y él me ayudó. No sé si ahí están los récords. Entonces,
Okay, guy. We started, a judge ordered 25,000 or almost 20,000 that I owed to her. And then I got an attorney. Okay, proceda.
Entonces él me ayudó a los pagos eran el primero de 500 que me establecieron. Me subieron a 640, no me acuerdo, algo así. Entonces estaba pagando casi como un año. Pero
Okay, I got an attorney and he helped me out. And we started with the payments of 500 and then the payments increased up to 640. Okay,
entonces yo estaba pagando eso, pero como ahorita abrió el caso ella, yo no sé qué es lo que quiere ella, porque yo ya gasté en abogados como dinero, yo no sé qué es lo que está peleando ella.
okay,
Quisiera
so I was paying that. And then now I don't know what it is that she's fighting because I've already spent on attorneys. So I don't know what it is that she's fighting.
porque el caso lo empezamos aquí en Houston y ella se movió para allá sin avisarnos nada, entonces yo no hice nada para que ella regresara para acá, pues la dejé ir y eso fue mi error.
Permítame. Okay, so the case we started here in Houston and then she moved over there and I never did anything for her to come back and that was my mistake. Okay.
Entonces yo no sé ahorita qué está peleando ella, o sea, qué es lo que quiere ella, pues
And I don't know right now what it is that she's fighting. Is it money?
Your Honor, if I may, I think Mr. Arriaga might be confused as to the history of the case. There was an order signed by the Master Court on August 1st of 2019. Then a new trial was filed and granted. So I believe he's referring to the prior order that the court did away with the new trial.
Right, I guess let's re-ask the question, Mr. Gutierrez. I thought you were being very specific and I know I didn't get a very specific response and I know that response is necessary. So I just want to know whether he has received any or paid any monies to I guess, Mr. Gomez's client.
Okay, I'll re-ask, Your Honor. Mr. Arriaga, have you paid Ms. Bernal in cash directly?
Señor Arriaga, ¿le ha pagado usted a Ms. Bernal en efectivo directamente?
Después de que me dieron la orden.
After I got the order?
Yes, anytime after you've separated.
Sí, en algún tiempo después de que se separó.
Sí.
Yes.
How much money did you give her?
¿Qué tanto dinero le dio?
He's on mute.
Está apagado su micrófono.
No, pero le digo que yo le ayudaba, le compraba comida, le ayudaba para la renta, le pagaba el carro y la aseguranza.
I would help her with the food, rent. I would help her.
And if you had to put an amount, a dollar amount as to the money that you paid her or helped her with, what would be the amount?
Si tiene que poner una cantidad de lo que con lo que usted le ayudó, ¿qué sería esa cantidad?
Por mes le da como 700, 600, porque compraba pañales, compraba comida para ellas.
Per month, it was like 700, 600, because I would buy food for them, diapers.
And this was after you separated?
¿Y esto fue después de que se separó?
Sí, le ayudaba.
Yes, I would help her.
When did that help stop, or are you still helping her?
¿Cuándo se terminó esa ayuda o todavía le sigue ayudando?
Cuando ella me dejó de dejarme ver las niñas.
When she stopped allowing me to see my daughters.
What date was that?
¿Qué fecha fue eso?
La verdad no me acuerdo, pero yo metí la orden en Houston porque yo fui y me puse esa support para poder ver a mis hijas y pasar tiempo con ellas.
The date I don't recall because that's when I placed the order in Houston and for child support because I wanted to see my children.
If you had to come up with the date and a year, could you estimate the date, the month and the year?
¿Me puede dar un estimado más o menos de la fecha y el año?
Yo no tengo todo lo que me están preguntando a la mano,
I don't know everything that you're asking me at hand.
pero pues el child support tiene la fecha que fui a meterme. Yo apliqué para ayudar, para pagarle el dinero y poder que ellos me ayuden a poder estar con mis hijas los fines de semana.
But the child support should have the date because when I applied to help them, and so I could see my daughters on the weekends.
We initially filed the petition on August 3rd of 2018. More or less, was that the date or was it before then?
Nosotros archivamos la petición el 3 de agosto de 2018. Más o menos esa fue la fecha.
Pero ese es de McAllen, ¿verdad?
But that's in my calendar, right?
Yes, we filed our petition in Hidalgo County, August 3rd, 2018.
Sí, en el condado de Hidalgo archivamos esa petición el 3 de agosto de 2018.
No, el caso empezó en Houston, Texas.
The case started in Houston, Texas.
Right, but we need a date when you stopped sending her the money that you're alleging you sent her.
Necesitamos una fecha cuando usted está avisando que dejó de darle la ayuda.
Es que no tengo el papel en la mano. Salía
I don't have the paperwork at hand.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Gomez, do you happen to have any information on the Houston case?
No, I didn't. This case was begun by the Attorney General's office. I joined the case in the master court because it was a child support case. And at the time, the respondent did not provide any information as to his wages. We understood he was working in construction. And as he has stated on the record now, that he had been ordered to pay 500 and some odd, and it was raised up to $600 a month in child support. So he was making a considerable amount of money at the time. The Attorney General's office locally fixed child support at the rate of a minimum wage earner, and that's why I appealed it and brought it to this court. But one of the problems that we've had throughout this case is the non-cooperation of Mr. Arriaga. He has failed to appear. I suppose he was served and he's made a general appearance now, but we have not been able to obtain any information from him directly. And at this point, his testimony is so confusing, and I would not want to be unjust to Mr. Arriaga. If he has credits due him, I think we should get all the information and provide that to the court. But at this point, this is the first time we've seen him in 4 years before the court anyway. And I would ask that we recess this case, that we allow both the Attorney General's office and my office to further investigate this and obtain the information so we can present it to the court. I don't think this case, and I'm sorry that I've taken the court's time, but I don't think this case is ready to proceed today.
I would agree with you 100%. Mr. Arriaga, if I were to give you 2 weeks, would you be able to get the court information on the filing of that Harris County child support case?
Pero Arriaga, si le doy 2 semanas para que obtenga los documentos del caso que se archivó en el condado de Harris, ¿puede hacerlo?
Sí, ahí tengo los papeles, tengo todo, pero no, yo no sabía qué es lo que estaba peleando ella.
Yes, I have the paperwork there.
¿Me puede traducir lo que dijo el abogado de ella?
And permítame. I have the paperwork there. Yes, but I don't know what it is that she's fighting. Would you be able to interpret what it is that her lawyer was saying?
What he basically said, Mr. Arriaga, is that he wants to be fair to you. He wants to give you time to be able to get the information that we need.
Lo que está avisando el abogado, señor Arriaga, es de que él quiere ser justo con usted y quiere permitir el tiempo que necesitamos.
what we're trying to identify is whether or not you made direct cash payments to the mother and how much credit you should be given.
Lo que estamos tratando de determinar es de que si usted le dio pagos en efectivo a la mamá y para ver si qué créditos se les pueden dar.
Pero, ¿de qué tiempo? Porque yo agarré al abogado allá en el condado de Hidalgo y el abogado arregló todo eso. Yo no sé ahorita cuál es la situación.
Okay,
From over there.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I had gotten an attorney and he had fixed everything over there in Hidalgo County.
Well, fixing everything and you making payments are two totally different things.
Bueno, arreglando todo y que usted haya estado haciendo pagos son dos cosas diferentes.
Okay.
I'm only concerned about payments. I'm not concerned about how he fixed it, when he fixed it, any of that.
Ahorita nomás quiero saber de los pagos, no de que cómo lo arregló, si lo arregló o no.
So if you have information on the payments that you made, when they started, when they ended, that's what we need to be able to give you credit.
Entonces, si usted tiene información de los pagos, de cuándo empezaron y cuándo terminaron los comprobantes, eso es lo que necesitamos saber.
Porque con ustedes debo como un año, porque no he trabajado, me enfermé del COVID y no he trabajado bien.
Well, with y'all, behind like a year, because I have not worked and I have gotten sick with the COVID and I haven't really worked well.
Well, we're going back to 2015, May of 2015, when you all separated and ceased living together. I want to know how many direct payments and what kind of payments were you making during that period of time from 2015 until the present.
Pues nos estamos regresando hasta mayo 2015. Yo quiero saber cuántos pagos dio y qué tanta ayuda dio.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Mr. Arriaga, you have some homework to do in the next 2 weeks, and it would behoove you to do that homework if you wish to get credit. Otherwise, I'm not going to give you any credit.
So, ahora, señora Arriaga, en estas próximas 2 semanas usted tiene tarea y es mejor para usted para que consiga todos los comprobantes para determinar de darle crédito. Si no me trae comprobantes, pues no va a recibir crédito.
And I ask your honor that if he has evidence and certainly if he does have it, he's entitled to credits, and I'd be more than happy to work with the state to give him credit for those things, but we need to see the evidence of it. And his having it on the day of the hearing is not going to help us because we need to see and we need to vet the information. So I would suggest that if he has information, that he be given an address to the Attorney General's office, and I'll provide my address so we can receive the information and we can be prepared for the hearing. Otherwise, we're going to have another hearing like we have had this morning.
I agree. Carlos, will you translate that?
Señora Arriaga, está avisando al abogado si tiene los comprobantes, junte todos los comprobantes y no los traiga el día de la audiencia. Tiene que tratar de conseguirlos antes de la audiencia, si no vamos a perder tiempo como hoy, con esta audiencia. Entrégueselos a la oficina del Attorney General y también le daremos la dirección del abogado Gómez para que se lo entregue también a él. Y así si usted va a recibir crédito, para que le den los créditos que necesita. Y estamos preparados para esta audiencia que sigue.
Pero que el condado de Hidalgo, no de aquí, de Houston.
But from the Hidalgo County, not from here, from Houston.
Whatever credits whatever cash payments you made, you give them to Mr. Gomez and Mr. Gutierrez.
Cualquier pagos que haya dado usted en efectivo, entrégueselos el comprobante al señor Gómez y al señor Gutiérrez, al abogado Gutiérrez.
Does that make sense?
¿Me está diciendo claro?
Sí.
Yes.
I'm going to give you 2 weeks to do that, sir. So you'll have a deadline of the 23rd of February to give that information to Mr. Gutierrez and Mr. Gomez.
Lo va a dar 2 semanas para que haga eso, señor. Lo va a dar una fecha del 23 de febrero para que le entregue los al señor Gómez y al abogado Gutiérrez.
Tengo otra pregunta. Entonces tengo que ir al Social Support de aquí y pedirles el récord que he mandado el dinero.
another question. So then I gotta go to child support here and ask for the records of where I paid the money?
Mr. Gutierrez, you have that. You can get that information, could you not?
Yes, Your Honor, if there was any payments that have been made, I can obtain a pay record.
Right. We're
Right.
just talking about cash, Mr. Arriaga.
No, nomás estamos hablando de efectivo, señor Arriaga.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any other questions? Because I'm gonna give you 2 weeks to get that information to Mr. Gomez and Mr. Gutierrez. Cash payments, not withholdings from employment.
¿Tiene alguna otra pregunta? Estamos pidiendo nomás de pagos en efectivos, no que se le están quitando de su cheque.
Okay.
Ok.
La orden que estaba aquí de la niña chiquita, ella no ha cambiado el apellido. Entonces eso no cuenta o no está en el caso tampoco.
Okay, the order that's here, she's the little girl, she still has not changed the last name, so that does not count either.
I don't know if that even makes a difference.
No creo que haga diferencia.
Your Honor, I'll reach out to Mr. Arriaga to kind of explain to him a little bit more. If I could have his phone number, if he's willing to disclose it on Zoom right now.
Señor Arriaga, el abogado Gutiérrez quiere comunicarse con usted para explicarle un poco más mejor. ¿Está dispuesto a dar su número de teléfono aquí ahorita?
Sí.
Yes.
All right, what is that number?
¿Qué es ese número?
832-389-6126.
Area code 832-389-6126.
I'll reach out to him, Your Honor, and explain to him what the court's requiring from him.
One last request, Your Honor, from me. Could he give us a physical address where he lives in the event that it becomes necessary later to send him anything?
Carlos?
Señora Arriaga, ¿nos pudiera dar una dirección física para si es que es necesario de mandarle correspondencia?
A la dirección que tengo ahí.
The address here.
Uh, 7514 Yellow Pine, lo que es. Ahí lo tiene la oficina de Child Support. Ahí vive una prima. Me estoy quedando ahí.
Mr. Gomez, I have it as 7143 Yellow Pine Drive, Houston, Texas, 77040.
Now, he's giving that as an address where he has stayed. It's not, he's not said that that is where he lives. And I would ask that he be queried about where he resides.
Mr. Arriaga, where do you currently live? Do you live at that address?
Señora Arriaga, ¿dónde vive usted? ¿Vive en esa dirección?
Sí, me estoy quedando ahí.
Yes, I'm staying there.
Okay, so let me give you now a reset date. We determined the date in which he is ordered to give you the information and have that information by the 23rd. Let me give you March the 2nd as a reset date.
At what time, Your Honor?
9:30.
That is all I have before this honorable court today on this matter, and I appreciate the court's time, and I'm sorry that it worked out this way. We did not anticipate that Mr. Arriaga would appear today because he had not appeared at any time before.
No, I understand. Hopefully we can try to work this out. It seems like a pretty straightforward case once we get the information, if there's any to have.
Certainly. All right.
Okay, let him know the reset date, March 2nd.
Señora Arriaga, vamos a regresar el 2 de marzo a las 9:30 de la mañana. Ahora se tiene hasta el 23 de febrero para entregar todos los documentos a los abogados.
Okay.
And Mr. Gutierrez is going to reach out to you to help you understand what it is that you need to do.
Y el abogado Gutiérrez se va a comunicar con usted para que le explique qué es lo que usted tiene que hacer.
Okay, muchas gracias.
Okay, thank you.
All right. You're excused.
Se puede retirar.
And Mr. Gomez, your client as well, Ms. Nevares is also excused.
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Nevares, también usted ya se puede retirar.
Well, I'll get with you later on this.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me see, what else do we have? We have a pro se divorce. And, well, Mr. Rivas, let me handle your case. F 3179-21-8 in the matter of the marriage of Dulce Bernal and Jose Salinas.
Chad Rivas, Your Honor, for the record, for Ms. Bernal,
Right.
the
Is Ms. Bernal
petitioner of
present?
this case. Yeah, she's right in front of me. Let me turn this off.
All right. And is Jose Salinas present?
He was earlier, Your Honor. It was under the Kalisha name. I'm not sure if he's still on.
Okay, I don't. He's not on. Is this did he file a waiver?
He did sign a waiver of service. And it's an agreed divorce, Your Honor, signed by both parties.
All right, perfect. Well, let me have Ms. Bernal raise her right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you may lower your hand. Mr. Rivas, you may proceed.
Sure. Ms. Bernal, is your true name Dulce Fabiola Bernal?
Yes.
You are married to the respondent, Jose Elogio Salinas, at this time?
Yes.
Prior to filing this divorce action, you have resided in the state of Texas for at least 6 months and lived in the county of Hidalgo for at least 90 days?
Yes.
Mr. Salinas has signed a waiver of service, correct?
Yes.
And you were married on or about February 14, 2012?
Yes.
You have since stopped living together as husband and wife.
Yes.
I believe it's been more than 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Your marriage to Mr. Salinas has become insupportable due to discord, conflict, and personalities.
Yes.
And there's no hope of any reconciliation?
No.
You had a child with someone else during this separation and during the marriage while you were separated, correct?
Yes.
That does not, Mr. Salinas is not the father of this child.
No.
The child is under 18 years old, correct?
Yes.
And the child's name is Sebastian Bernal Villarreal.
Yes.
Date of birth 11/20/20.
Yes.
There is no property owned or possessed by the child, correct?
Yeah.
You are currently not pregnant, right?
No.
And there is no community property to be divided, correct?
No.
All personal effects of a party, both of you have agreed to be awarded to the party having possession of that, correct?
Yes.
And it's like I stated earlier, this is an agreed divorce decree and agreed and signed by both parties.
Yes.
And you're asking this court to grant you the divorce and approve the provisions in this proposed final decree of divorce, correct?
Yes.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
All right. Court's going to go ahead and take judicial notice of all documents in the court's file, including the filing of this action on July 2nd, 2021. A waiver was executed by the respondent, Jose Salinas, on July 12th, 2021. It was returned to the clerk July 13th, 2021. It's been on file for the requisite period of time. As a representative and as an officer of the court, Mr. Rivas, you've stated that the divorce decree has been signed by both parties. Is that correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
The court's going to go ahead and grant the divorce along with all relief requested. We should be able to sign off on it. I'll sign off on it right now and get you a certified copy. You should be able to get a certified copy this afternoon.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all we have.
You're welcome. You're excused.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I have 2 more quick pro se divorces. Want to make sure that the parties are present. I do see Cruz Tames. This is F 08-26-21-8 in the matter of the marriage of Omar Gonzalez and Cruz Tames.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm present.
Good morning, Mr. Gonzalez. Can you?
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir.
Good morning. Let me check real quick on my computer to make sure that the final decree has been submitted. All right. So a final order was submitted to the court. I'm going to just glance over it real quick. I understand that there's 2 children. All right. And let me make sure that it was signed by both parties. Okay, Mr. Gonzalez, you are the petitioner, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, and Ms. Tames, have you had a chance to take a look at this final decree of divorce?
No, Your Honor. As a matter of fact, I would like to do an amend. I would like restraining orders from all the proof where he would hit me, doctors from the hospital and everything. Is because when I signed it, it was not agreed. Forced me to
Okay,
sign that.
here's what's gonna happen. This divorce then, based on what you've told me right now, is not, we're not ready to proceed today. And so both of y'all are pro se. Ms. Tames, I cannot give you legal advice, but I can let you know that it'd probably be, based on what you just told me, it'd probably be wise for you to visit with a lawyer and file any sort of counter petition and any sort of pleadings that you feel are
Yes,
necessary.
I have sorry to interfere, Your Honor. I have written statement even from his family, from a lot of people, from when they would see when he would hit me and everything.
Okay, and while I can appreciate that, all that has to be filed with the court and it has to be going through the clerk's office. And
Yes.
honestly, you should probably be looking into hiring an attorney, because this is not something that you can handle per se.
Yes, is there any way I can get a court appointed?
We cannot court appoint an attorney on a family case, but you can maybe go speak with legal aid, Texas Rural Legal Aid, if you haven't already done so.
Yes, they send me with Mujeres Unidas. That's what, right now I'm with my doctor because I have an appointment, but after this, I'm going with Mujeres Unidas.
Okay, see if they can offer you some sort of advice.
Also, just because my daughter, Delilah Gonzalez, she's deceased. She passed away January 4th of 2022.
Yeah, because of your care. You don't care about her. She was dying inside your hotel. She was alone. Why don't you talk about that? You just telling me that I hit you. I have no proof. I hit you. I have proof of that CPS, that Delilah died in your hands because no la cuidaste. Se estaba muriendo y ya te estaba hablando y tú no la cuidaste.
No, that's not true. I have
the CPS paperwork aquí. Ahora sí quieres hablar que yo te golpeo. You have no proof que yo te golpeé. Pero no me quieres dar el divorcio.
No, I want the divorce. I want a divorce. I want it, but it's not gonna be just like that.
Okay.
He would even hit my kids, and I have the videos.
I'm gonna go ahead and give you a 45-day reset, because this is something that you're gonna need to hire an attorney to represent you, okay?
But I do want a divorce. And is there any way a restraining order or piece of order?
I can't give you that advice, ma'am. That's why you need to go visit with a lawyer, or you need to come to the DA's office and seek a restraining order from the DA's office.
Okay. I understand.
All right, March the 30th.
Okay, hold on. March
30th at 9:30.
March 30th at 9:30, right?
Yes.
Okay, sir.
All right. Both of y'all are
Thank you.
excused. All right, let me go ahead and call F-3768 21-8 in the matter of the marriage of Noe Garza and Crystal Gongora. Crystal, can you hear me?
I'm here.
Okay.
Yes.
Crystal, I have a note here asking me to ask the question of, I understand that there's a related case with the Attorney General's office, but was there an open case for the third child? You have
Yes.
you have a third child. Was a case open with the Attorney General's office for that third child?
I'm trying to open it.
Okay, so it hasn't been opened yet.
Yes, correct.
Okay. So then we're gonna need to give you some additional time for you to be able to do that. I'm gonna give you March the 30th as a reset date, okay?
Okay.
That way you have time to open that case so that we can try to tie in all the children and everything into this divorce, okay?
Okay, so we're not gonna do that today. I thought we were gonna do the divorce plus the
Well,
the
if
child support.
if the children are not included, then I can't include the child support. So I need the children to be, I need a case to be open for the children, for all three children. If there's only three, is there only three?
Yes, because I have it open, but I've been waiting for almost 2 years to open a case for Noe Garza.
And why has it not happened?
Because they transferred my case from Houston to Hidalgo, and then they already did that, but they still haven't sent me a date for court to add Noe Garza in.
Yeah, right now, the only order that I could follow is as to Juan Garza and is it Nailin?
Yes, Nailin Garza.
And you have a third child.
Yes.
And you're currently receiving governmental assistance for
Yes.
the children? Yeah.
For the 3 years.
Yeah. So so I'm in this position, I'm in a tough position because you're appearing pro se. If you had an attorney, the attorney could make certain could file certain documents with the court so that there could be certain judicial acknowledgements of paternity, and we could go through that process much quicker if you had a lawyer who was presenting that information to me. Unfortunately, because I cannot give you legal advice, I can't walk you through that. So the only person that would be able to do that for you would be the Attorney General's office. And that's why it's important that you open up that case for that third child or hire a lawyer. And then you want to talk about speed this process immediately, get a family lawyer and we could be here in a couple of weeks, quite honestly.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll try to get in touch with Texas General.
Yeah, the Texas Attorney General's office. Yes.
Yes.
All right. And I'll give you that March the 30th date at 9:30. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. March 30th is it correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.